Amitabh Bachchan as an actor.
God.
But how would you describe?
God.
Okay. On the angry young man image जो उन्होंने इतने सालों से कैरी किया है इतनी सारी फिल्मों में, उसके बारे में.
I think Amitabh Bachchan, firstly, Amitabh Bachchan, there should be a stamp or a coin made of that gentleman, because Mr. Bachchan, there's only one Mr. Bachchan. I don't think anyone can ever replace his, take his shoes. Because the pleasure and the honesty with what he works, और ये एक जनरेशन की थिंग है. ये ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे टाइम में my grandparents used to watch his film and think that Amitabh Bachchan was their son. My parents used to watch the film and they used to think that he's their brother. I used to watch the film and think that he's my parent. And if my children watch the film, they'll think that he's their grandfather. So Amitabh Bachchan is a generation which has pleased and satisfied India, and in a way where Vijay, people named Vijay, their children Vijay because of Amitabh Bachchan, and he's a phenomenon. There's one person, there's Sachin Tendulkar who comes once in a decade, and I think there's Amitabh Bachchan who comes in 5 decades.
Mr. Bachchan as a person, आपने उनके साथ काम भी किया.
I think Mr. Bachchan as a person is fantastic. He's again very giving, very sensible person. जो Mr. Bachchan की भी life हुई है from struggling into the industry and being called के Lambu काम नहीं कर पाएगा, and what he's proved people wrong, and when he totally boycotted the press because they were writing things against him. I think the most important thing about Mr. Bachchan is that उन्होंने जो भी किया है वो honesty के साथ किया है. उन्होंने कभी उनके फैमिली पे और उनके ऊपर कलंक नहीं आने दिया. Even when the whole corruption deal, he said that I challenge anyone proving me wrong. And I think he's a fighter because he's not scared of anyone, and he's not scared of being honest. And I think that is one example which has gone on to his son also. And I'm pretty close to the family, so I can see it, and he always says that he'll do anything as long as it's not against the constitution or against the law of the land, and I think he believes that.
अमिताभ बच्चन जब सेट्स पे होते हैं तो ऐसे काफी बार मैंने तो बहुत सारे प्रैंक्स और बहुत सारी मस्ती, तो आपने तो उनके साथ काम.
एक्चुअली अमिताभ बच्चन जी जब सेट पे होते हैं तो सबकी इतनी फटीग पड़ी होती है कि कोई प्रैंक ही नहीं करता है. वो एक कुर्सी पे जैसे मैं बैठा हूँ बैठते हैं और सिर्फ आपकी तरफ ऐसे देखेंगे, और एज ए यंग डायरेक्टर आपके दिमाग में एक ही चीज़ चलती है कि यार उन्होंने मनमोहन देसाई के साथ काम किया है, उन्होंने यश चोपड़ा के साथ काम किया है, उन्होंने प्रकाश मेहरा के साथ काम किया है. ये क्या सोच रहे होंगे आपके बारे में, तो उसमें ही हालत ख़राब हो जाती है. तो प्रैंक करने की तो बात ही नहीं है, बिकॉज ही इज़ अमिताभ बच्चन, एंड फॉर योर सेकेंड फिल्म व्हेन यू गेट टू वर्क विद अमिताभ बच्चन एंड देन यू गेट टू वर्क विद हिम अगेन इन द थर्ड फिल्म, I think if I were to die, I'll die a very happy man as a director.
कोई इंसिडेंट आपको याद है जो सेट्स पे मस्ती किया उन्होंने, या फिर कोई भी ऐसे मोमेंट जो आप शेयर करना चाहते?
मैं तो मेरे लिए जब आई थिंक द बेस्ट थिंग इन माई लाइफ वॉज के मैंने अमित जी के साथ एक अजनबी की, और एक अजनबी में आई विल बी वेरी सेल्फिश. 50 दिन वो मेरे साथ अकेले बैंकॉक. आई थिंक इट वाज वंडरफुल क्योंकि उनके पास कोई डिस्ट्रैक्शन नहीं था. मेरे लिए एक स्कूल जैसा था. क्यों करते हैं कि सुहाग में मैंने एक बार पूछा था कि चप्पल का सीन सर, तो उन्होंने बोला था कि मनमोहन देसाई यूज्ड टू हैव वन सीन एंड ही सो द स्टोरीज वर लाइक स्कूल. जैसे प्रकाश जी के बारे में बात करते थे, यश जी के बारे में बात करते थे. तो क्या होता है कि जब व्हेन यू आर अ फिल्म फैन एंड स्पेशली व्हेन यू आर एन अमिताभ बच्चन फैन, it's just amazing. You obviously have to feel that you're fortunate or you're blessed that you are getting a chance to work with someone like Amitabh Bachchan at such a young age. And the fan following he has is amazing. उनको मुझे याद है कि जब हम मुंबई से आए, मेरा दोस्त शूट कर रहे थे, और एक ये इंसिडेंट रियल इंसिडेंट है. आप किसी को भी यूनिट पे पूछ सकते हैं. वहाँ ड्राउट चल रही थी और 2 साल से बारिश नहीं हुई थी और लोग मर रहे थे जैसलमेर में. न्यू ईयर्स के लिए अभिषेक को मिलने आए थे, और मुझे याद वी वर शूटिंग इन द विलेज, एंड वी फ्रॉम फार वी कुड सी द डस्ट फ्लाइंग. इट वाज लाइक अ मूवी शॉट, and these 2 Mercedes came up with Amar Singh ji, Amit ji, Shweta and Jaya ji. And you won't believe this, as soon as the car door opened and he put his foot down, बारिश होने लगी. It started raining, and it hadn't rained for 2 years. And I don't know if it's you call it a phenomenon or you call it a fluke, but it's like God had come. उन्होंने जैसे सेट पे लैंड किया बारिश होने लगी, 1 घंटा पूरी बारिश हुई, नदियाँ भर गई थी, एंड द नेक्स्ट डे there must have been word must have spread that Amitabh Bachchan has come, and in a small place like Jaisalmer, outside the hotel we had to get extra security because I think there were about 35,000 people there just to see him, and he came up and he did that sarkar kind of a wave from the roof, and the cheer bit came up. I just realized at that point that ऐसे लोग लाइफ में 100 साल में एक बार आते हैं या 200 साल में एक बार आते हैं. There's not enough you can talk about an Amitabh Bachchan. It's just, I'm really fortunate that I got to spend time with him and I know him so well. So whatever you say about him is less.
On the Bachchan family being the first family of Bollywood, अभिषेक भी काफ़ी अच्छा कर रहा है, ऐश्वर्या भी है, जया जी भी हैं, तो about the whole family.
I think it's, what makes it a family is that they have mutual respect for each other. They have great confidence in each other, and obviously there is a great amount of love and nourishment. And I think once you have that and you're so close-knit, I don't think you need anyone in the world because you're finding strength from each other. And I think that is the most amazing thing about the Bachchans. Firstly is their honesty, which I've never seen anywhere. Plus, at the same time, they are careful not to do anything which might hurt people. And the great thing is that Mr. Bachchan knows what he means to this country and to Indians living all over the world. So, wo unki sentiment, he tries not to hurt their sentiment. And I've had, some simple things like, for example, we were doing H-Nabi with thinking what his name should be. And he said, yeah, don't give me this name. So I said, why, sir? He said, you know what, I don't want to say this to you, but if I say something wrong or if I say something derogatory, then community might think that I'm doing something wrong and I'm not pleasing the community, and they'll write me all these letters, and I don't want to upset anyone. And the other example, there was a scene in my film where I said something derogatory about Bangkok. And he told me that, Apu, just remember one thing, you are a young director. In life, never say anything negative about your host country, and never say negative about your country, because you are making a film in that country, you should respect them, and you should never disrespect your country. And I thought about it, and it's fantastic. I've always adhered to that, and he's just amazing.
Even today, roles are specially written for Mr. Bachchan, तो उसके बारे में
मेरे को एक ऐसा आदमी पता नहीं है, जैसे वो यंग प्रोड्यूसर है या ओल्ड प्रोड्यूसर है, यंग डायरेक्टर है या ओल्ड डायरेक्टर है, वो उनकी लाइफ में एक बार अमित जी से काम नहीं करना चाहेगा. ऐसा कोई शख्स है ही नहीं इस इंडस्ट्री में. और जिन्होंने काम किया है वो बहुत लकी है. जो यंग डायरेक्टर्स आते हैं उनका सपना होता है कि मैं अमित जी के साथ एक पिक्चर बनाऊं. जो यंग प्रोड्यूसर्स आते हैं वो उनका ख्वाब होता है कि मैं अमित जी को मेरी पिक्चर में लूँ, उनको दिखाऊं कि मैं कैसा प्रोड्यूसर बनना चाहता हूँ, मैं क्या हाउ आई लाइक टू पैम्पर हिम एंड जस्ट सिट विथ हिम. एंड आई थिंक दैट इज़ एवरी फिल्म मेकर्स ड्रीम, बिकॉज ही इज़ जस्ट डन सो मच फॉर द इंडस्ट्री. एंड especially people like me, Amit ji, Sanjay Dutt, these are the people who inspired us to be filmmakers, and I think we owe them a great deal for shaping our lives at least.
Your favorite movie, if given a choice, your favorite Bachchan movie?
Agnipath, without fail.
Okay. If given a choice, Namak Halal, Zanjeer, Hera Fairy, Black?
Zanjeer.
Q. Why?
Because it's intense, and although at the same time it's a very very secluded, he's within his shell, and I think it just showed at that early age what this person was going to be, and no one wanted to do that film. And I heard that he requested Jaya ji and said, you are a big star, मैं छोटा आदमी हूँ, मेरे लिए आप एक पिक्चर कर लीजिए please. And he asked her for a favor, and look at it now. Yeah.
Agnipath क्यों favorite movie?
क्योंकि Agnipath is Mr. Bachchan, he's the angry middle-aged man or the angry young man. It's just that his attitude, जैसे वो कुर्सी पे बैठते हैं ऐसे, मैं दीनानाथ चौहान, I remember all those dialogues, and the scene when he comes out of the water, and he's running in that village on the fire, it's larger than life. And Mukul Anand knew what, how to make Amitabh Bachchan bigger than Amitabh Bachchan. And Amit ji always says that Mukul Anand didn't have eyes, he had lenses. You know, and Agnipath is fantastic. Just the way he delivered his dialogue, just the way he, you know, is phenomenal.
Any message you would like to give to Mr. Bachchan through our camp?
The only message I can give Mr. Bachchan is that, sir, we are very fortunate to have someone like you in our country. You have entertained us all. You keep making us proud, and keep up the good jobs. And thank you for, I guess, everyone in the industry at least.
You would like to wish him a birthday?
Happy birthday, sir. Keep rocking, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you.